I mean, obviously, I love it. I think I think them adding to the purse. I don't know if I personally for the racers. I'm not sure that I know they do that for the fans and the promotion side, but for the racers, I'm not for sure that we wouldn't rather it be kind of spread out through the field,
right?
A little bit. But I know the hype, going in the promotional side of it and what they're doing, is it creates some excitement, So heck, you just gotta get up there and get after it, and hopefully you can be the one to leave there with it. But I mean, it's an exciting time for them to be able to step up to the plate and add more, purse money to, the event. And obviously that's a credit to the race fans. The race fans are the ones that go out and support these events. They make it all possible. And so it's really exciting to see them to be able to do that and them have the support and that Speedway has so much history behind it. So it should be an awesome show.
We're talking to Dale McDowell, the Mac Daddy himself out of Chickamauga, Georgia. Big win this past Thursday night at the Spring Thaw at Volunteer Speedway, as well as some other events that you've won on the Spring National Series. I want to say you won a race at Sonoya. I want to say it was Sonoya Raceway you won there, and I think you had a pretty decent race at Oglethorpe. Was it Oglethorpe you got to win at also?
Oglethorpe and Talladega. I think we ran fourth at Sonoya.
Okay,
yep.
And Cochran, you had a pretty good show at Cochran.
Yeah.
You had a pretty good finish at Cochran also, as what I was looking at.
Yep, we had a decent finish there too. So we were in the top 5, in all those events and some of those racetracks I hadn't been to in years. I went to Oglethorpe and I couldn't remember if I'd been there before, and they enlightened me that I was there in '97 or something. I was like, oh my gosh, there was kids running around the pits that wasn't even born there, So I was like, my
and
goodness.
that track has changed too. What did you think of that
It
track?
has
Because
changed.
it's changed. It used to be so big. Now it's small.
Oh yeah, I think it provides. I just think the smaller racetracks, being less than a half mile. I mean, that one was a great big racetrack. And so I think, what they did with the menu and the track configuration, it made for more exciting racing, So, I mean, a lot of racetracks we go to, if they're laid out right, the bigger racetracks are fine, but that one, I think it needed to be changed just to provide, more exciting racing for the race fans. And I think they've accomplished that.
Dale McDowell joins us on the line. Dale, let's talk about your big win at the Spring Thaw at Volunteer Speedway. Obviously, Stan Lester and Joe and Phyllis Lovin, Doug Gillenwater, everybody there at Volunteer Speedway had a beautiful facility. And what a great race between you and Jimmy Owens and Buckingham and, all the hot shoes that were a part of that race on the other night. You just guys put on a phenomenal show. Great racing there Thursday night in front of a packed house for that matter.
It was. The racetrack was awesome, and that place races really good. And, so I fell back to begin with. I think I started 4th, and I fell back to 6th, and we changed up. I just kind of kept working until I found something that the car liked, and started making some gains, and then was able to get up through there and then get by Jimmy there late in the race and lap traffic. And, so at any time you can win an event anywhere, it sticks out to you, but it was really that place, you could race high or low, and it was a good show for the race fans, and we was fortunate enough to walk away the winner. So, it was a great night for us.
Yeah, an awesome event there. And, of course, just chatting things up and talking about the program. 22 cars, a phenomenal race you put on there, racing with, of course, Dale McDowell and Jimmy Owens, Shannon Buckingham, Michael Chilton, Brandon Overton. Anybody had a shot to win that thing. Even Ross Bales, who eventually won at 411 with his big first Lucas Oil win on Friday night, was even in the hunt.
Yes, it was. I mean, there's a lot of good competition there, and at any given time, those guys you mentioned were right there in contention. So you just never know in those events. You just you never know, and you actually it's a gamble, and when you're changing setups and stuff at the last minute, right before you go out for the feature, and so it just all worked out for our car. So we had a pretty good easy go hot rod that night. So everything was good for us.
Dale, what is your thoughts of the world of super late model racing, short track racing in general on the dirt, and as being a driver, but also being a promoter in this millennial area that we're in right now, the good and the bad?
Well, I think the good is the special events are having, record number of attendance. So that's really good. The downfall of our sport is the support of the local tracks and, the local Saturday night racing. That's fallen off a little bit. Not sure what that is credited to, as far as, young kids, not getting as involved. There's so many other things to do, in today's world with social media, that creates a bigger menu, if you will,
right,
of things to do. But, I think that's the downfall of it. So I see a lot of racetracks, that have backed up and started running, not the weekly Saturday night stuff, but they'll run special events. So, I wish that there were more racetracks when I grew up, we went to the racetrack every Friday night, every Saturday night, and on the local level, and you just don't see as many, people doing that type of stuff. So, I think if the racetrack and the promoters will talk, communicate with each other, kind of support one another, I think that it'll last a long time, because people are still going to love auto racing, still going to be a part of it, and so they'll support those special events. And so, like I said, I just feel like the weekly Saturday night, every night, and a lot of parts in this area, not so to speak everywhere, but a lot of tracks in this area, just struggle a little bit on their weekly program. So I wish that was better. But our sport is the most competitive it's been. The way the cars are now, there's a lot of passing. The cars are actually harder to drive in traffic, so the cars move around more, which produces better racing, better racing for the race fans. So we have a lot of positives. We have a lot of great people. It's still, it's one of the most family-oriented sports where the whole family can go be a part of it.
That's right.
Whether they're going to watch or they're going to participate, and get a car as a family and go. We just had driving school yesterday, and I had 8-10 guys, that were in the beginning stages and doing training, and most of them were, it was a family connection, a family operation. And so I really like that part of, where our sport's at. So, we'll just keep plugging and keep putting on good shows for the race fans, and hopefully they'll continue to support us.
And I was going to say that, Dale, shameless plug for you and your driving school. Just talk about the Dale McDowell Racing School and how successful it's been, because it's been around for a couple of years now, and the racetracks that you actually host the driving schools at.
Well, I've done it at several different racetracks, but I've been doing it probably now, Wesley, over 20 years.
Right.
Or right at 20 years. We started, 98, somewhere back in that area, 97, 98. But it was, it's just been a gratifying experience, to me, to be able to go and spend, a couple of days with these young racers and just get them a direction. Like they ask questions of what to do, how to get started, what I do setup wise, what do I do when I go different places. So if we can take our experience and pass it along to those guys and cut off of their learning curve, to get them where they want to be quicker, and more cost efficient, then that's gratifying to me to get those people in. And like I said, I love the sports. I love doing them. If it can help somebody out, and because there's a lot, dirt racing is challenging and it's tough, and you just can't conquer it. And that's what keeps us, it's what keeps us, our fire burning, is just the drive to try to stay up in the top 5 or up in the top 10 or up with the top teams, so it's so challenging that you're always working at it. And then when we do the schools, that just kind of, reinforces those guys and maybe sets a pathway, of what direction they want to go. And I always joke with them. I tell them, I've got, if you just come to the school, if you don't learn anything but except what not to do, don't do this and don't do that, I've got that covered, so I can save them some money on the what not to do. But
exactly.
But it's a lot of fun.
Definitely. Dale, final question for you, buddy, before we part ways here. You have had so many great successes. You have won so many big marquee events in your career. What was the race that just stands out as being the most special win of your career? Or not even a win, just a special event that you were a part of. What is that one event? Because you've been a part of so many races.
Well, we've actually had a lot of. Well, been fortunate and blessed, and had a lot of success, through the years, and I don't know. I mean, it's hard to put your finger on one. The Bristol event, the inaugural Bristol event, when they put dirt on Bristol in 2000, we had won the championship in '99, and then that year we had struggled a good bit, and so we won that race, and then later on that year we won the USA Nationals up at Cedar Lake. But winning that event at that venue, and that inaugural event was probably one of the most special wins, that we had. And then the Dream in 2014, where I actually was driving for my brother again. And,
right.
And one driving for Clint. And so that was a big boost for us too, but I mean, I got several. I mean, we won the High Tampa shootout there in '99 and won the championship all in one night. That was an emotional night for us, and a lot of money, then that really helped us along. And so there's several, but all of them, like I said, anymore, man, you cherish them all. You don't know when's going to be the last one. So you learn to cherish them all.
That's right.
And enjoy being a part of it.
Absolutely. So what is your plans this year? Obviously, I know you're going to run the big marquee events. You got the Dirt Late Model Dream coming up. You got the USA Nationals. You've got the Dirt Track World Championship and all those big events coming up later on in the year, the World 100 and Hillbilly and whatnot. But are you pretty much going to run the spring national schedule? Have you pretty taken a liking to Ray Cook and Chris Tilley's program?
Well, I really like their program. I like to support it. We just look at that, and I think that's the plan as of right now. But Shane sat down and looked at it, to see what we would miss, if there would be any big events, that we had planned on running that we'd like to go run,
right,
that we would have to miss to compete in the whole program. So I think, that everything, as of right now, that's what we're going to do. So really just the methodical way of scheduling with us, is like we pick the marquee events, and then if we can run and support a series and it not affect, any of missing any of those events, then that's the direction we'll go, so I mean we have 2 engines, basically, and then we've got 2 cars, and so we don't have 4 engines and 2 or 3 cars, like it takes to run 4 or 5 engines or something that it takes to run a national series. So we just kind of, pick and choose our events and try to keep our equipment fresh and just go at it as that.
Definitely. And my last question, I want to throw this out here. Anna Parkhurst, what is your thoughts of that young lady that you have tried to help build and mold, and her being a talented race car driver and where she's at? I mean, I seen at Volunteer last Thursday night, she was running the super late model race with the Ultimate Series, and she was going to try to attempt to run 3 races, and then she dropped out to 2. But she's running pro late models, she's running supers. What's your thoughts in the last couple of years of what they call the Georgia Peach Anna Parkhurst has done in racing, sir?
Well, I think Anna's doing an awesome job. We started working with her when we were at when Shane was at Team Dillon Racing, and with go-karts and stuff. And so I think Anna's done an awesome job. She's come along quite well. I think this year she's probably going to run some super races, and so excited about that. But I think she's coming along quite well. So I believe that's going to be the future as young ladies and young young people coming up and being a part of it. So, heck, it's great.
Definitely.